Welcome, friends. Let us listen to the alignment track from Infinite Om for a few minutes to orient ourselves as we begin to consider the energies of Taurus and our preparation for the Wesak. May the energy of the divine self inspire us and the light of the soul direct. May we be led from darkness to light, from the unreal to the real, and from death to immortality. Welcome as we begin our process of opening to the energies of Taurus as a discipleship group. In Aries, we sounded, I come forth, and from the plane of mind I rule. We enter now into the energies of Taurus, where the word of the soul is, I see, and when the eye is opened, all is light. We will focus in Taurus on the will and attempt to Move any self-will to the level of spiritual will and come together as a group to bring the group spiritual will into our focus as we prepare for the Wesak.
For long, aspirants have noted and have been taught the effect of the will upon the astral or emotional body. It is one of the primary and most elementary of the initial tensions and is taught upon the probationary path. It leads to the purifying and the reorganizing of the entire psychic and emotional life as the result of its destructive action. It is the will that, in the last analysis, produces orientation, focus, emphasis, the world of form, and above all else, because of its relation to the world of cause, the world of meaning. The will aspect of divinity can find expression only through humanity. For the fourth kingdom in nature is intended to be the agent of the will to the three subhuman kingdoms.
Let us, in these early days of the Taurian energies, prepare for the Wesak festival, this great and solemn event, opening to the energies of Taurus, this sign that holds the mystery of the purpose of deity.
From the highest point of soul focus, with the attitude of the observer, we say together, I am the soul. I am light divine. I am love. I am will. I am fixed design.
May the holy ones, whose disciple I am, show me the light I seek. Give me the strong aid of their compassion and their wisdom. There is a peace which passeth understanding. It abides in the hearts of those who live in the eternal. There is a power which maketh all things new. It lives and moves in those who know the self as one. May that peace brood over us, that power uplift us, till we stand where the one initiator is invoked, till we see his star shine forth.
Part 1. Our themes as we open and orient to the energies of Taurus and the new astrology, are incentive, vision, illumination, intuition, and wisdom, as we explore the quality of the heart given to us by Master DK, wisdom as an aspect of group consciousness.
The entire secret of divine purpose and planning is hidden in this sign. Will is active, purpose is passive.
Energy follows thought. We are not dealing here with the simple statement that thought power is an energy and that the process of thinking generates automatically an energy which produces subjective forms, induces related action, and is the source, therefore, of all that appears or manifests. That is a platitude today, and humanity is increasingly aware of the subjective power of thought and of its consequences, objective realization. We are to concern ourselves with that which lies behind the mental perception of the ordinary man, and with the revelation which comes to the initiate disciple as he stands within the ashram and perceives, as a result of the initiatory process, the nature of the divine plan, as it can be seen working out on various planes of our planetary existence.
Our group focus in Taurus. Wisdom, the quality of the heart center aligned with the will to good. The sign of major life incentive, the incentive towards experience in order to gain knowledge, the symbol of desire in all its phases. Dual in its nature, driven forth by the urge of aspiration, or controlled by the will to cooperate with the plan.
There are many types of minds. It should be remembered that all people are units of consciousness breathed forth on one of the 7 emanations from God. Therefore, even their monads or spiritual aspects are inherently different, just as in the prism, which is one, there are 7 differentiated colors. Even this is so only because of the point of view and the perceiving apparatus of the man whose eye registers and differentiates the varying rates of vibratory light. These 7 subsidiary groups again produce a varying outlook, mentality, and approach. All are equally right, but all represent a slightly different angle of vision. When the above realization is coupled to such factors as the different points in evolution, varying nationalities and characteristics, the inherent distinctions brought about through the interplay between the physical body involved and the environment, it will be apparent that no approach to such abstruse subjects as the nature of spirit and soul could have a general definition and submit themselves to a universal terminology. The sign of major life incentive, the incentive towards experience in order to gain knowledge, the symbol of desire in all its phases, dual in its nature, driven forth by the urge of aspiration, or controlled by the will to cooperate with the plan.
We stand at a point in these times, particularly as we consider approaching this year, the year of the conclave, how challenging it is to develop unity in diversity. So let us bear in mind that we are dealing with these seven emanations from God, and as we seek illumination and prepare for the Wesak, that we fully prepare to attune to the highest in whatever ashramic affiliation we may believe we are part of, and to prepare to unite at the point of the Wesak festival in order to merge and blend and produce over time the precipitation of ideas that represent the varying outlooks and mentalities and are aligned with the will of God and the plan for humanity is our greatest challenge at this time.
Under the influence of the incentive in Taurus, what can we learn from Master Jaikul, from his teachings, that will assist us in understanding the relationship of Taurus to the life and advancement of humanity through the Buddha and the quality of the second ray, the quality of the heart, wisdom? The keynotes of illumination, of vision, of sight, or of spiritual perception, and of the fusion of the Occidental or the mystic way are dominant in this cycle. The Buddha summed up in himself all the light of the past, as far as humanity was concerned. He was the culminating messenger and demonstrated the innate possibilities of mankind, radiating the light of wisdom in relation to the light of substance, and producing that dual blaze or flaming light which had been fanned and fostered, though not fully expressed, by humanity up to that time. He came forth as the flower or fruition of the past, and as the guarantee of man's innate capacity. We seek to control them today mentally and theoretically, but only the energy of wisdom will suffice to dispel the forces of the world glamour and the world illusion. Practice wisdom, my brothers, and thus aid humanity and shorten its astral struggle. Christ, whilst able also to say, I am the light of the world, went further in his manifestation and gave a vision of the next step, demonstrating the light of the soul and pointing to the future, thus presenting that which could be because he had released on earth the cosmic principle of love. Love is an aspect of the will, which is a point very little realized by the mass of men. It is the will to draw into itself, or the will to attract into itself. And this will, when exerted toward that which is not material, we, in reaction to the differentiating mind, call love. But humanity has to see that which must be loved, before that power of the will is sufficiently evoked. Then the vision can become a manifestation and a fact in expression.
Three things which the initiate notes as the new panorama, the revelation, unfolds in flashing light before him. 1. The point of tension which precedes revelation. There is much to be considered in relation to tension as the forerunner of initiation and its subsequent revelation. 2. The stillness by which the revealing vision is surrounded, if I may so inadequately express the idea. The revelation is given to the initiate as if there was nothing in all the world but himself, a point of tension, and a vortex of force which takes form before his eyes, revealing to him an inevitable but future activity. 3. The level upon which the revelation, apprehended at the highest possible point of consciousness for the initiate, must eventually be materialized or brought into being.
We're told that in the future, initiation is going to be a group process, and the individual initiations will fall away, but we're in this time of transition. And with the emphasis we have on so much group work, how do we begin to establish this point of tension at whatever level we may be in the initiatory process and bring that into functionality in our group settings so that we begin to reveal in a way that coincides with the direction that the group is taking, so that our individual initiatory process reveals to us that which is aligned with the group process. And the importance of maintaining this point of tension and allowing for the stillness that has to surround the revelation of the vision. And understanding and incorporating the revelations that come and the visions that come from individuals. And how do we then bring that into the fullness of a group experience? What that requires of us. Something to ponder.
In Atlantean days, I'm here telling you something of interest and something which should evoke a sense of responsibility. The major task of the masters of the wisdom was with the great world illusion, or rather, glamour. They worked then primarily upon the astral plane, and had they not done so, human life and conditions would not be so good as they are. For they are in reality full of beauty, the beauty of potentiality, hovering upon the verge of immediacy of expression. Today, they are working primarily upon the mental plane, dealing with ideas and with their impression upon the minds of their disciples and advanced humanity. It is the problem of humanity as a whole to work in the world glamour. It is the responsibility of the aspirants of the world to guide humanity out of the valley of glamour. Men must learn to understand it and eventually, aided by the senior disciples of the world, trained by the masters of the wisdom, to transmute and dispel it. Today, the masters of the wisdom are working primarily upon the mental plane, dealing with ideas and with their impression upon the minds of their disciples and advanced humanity. It is the problem of humanity as a whole to work in the world glamour. It is the responsibility of the aspirants of the world to guide humanity out of the valley of glamour. Men must learn to understand it and eventually, aided by the senior disciples of the world, trained by the masters of the wisdom, to transmute and dispel it. You should, therefore, bear in mind that the task before the modern disciple is to carry forward into the New Age the idea of the bringing of glamour and of the great illusion into the light. In the light, it will disappear. In this age, we have mastered, too well perhaps, the forces of nature and have brought out for our own benefit the material resources of the physical plane. We have conquered them and bent them to our will and use, often selfishly, yet sometimes with good and pure intent. In the New Age, a paralleling control will take place over the world of astral phenomena and over the forces of glamour and illusion. We seek to control them today mentally and theoretically.
So, tomorrow, as we will continue the group working to use the technique of light for the dissipation of the world glamour, we're working from group to world glamour and focusing on materialism, the fear, the expectancy, and materialism that DK notes as the most dominant glamours at this time. So, breathing into that, we will continue a dialogue using these particular ideas that Master DK gives us as we move forward in Taurus, thinking about the responsibility to bring this glamour and the great illusion into the light, for in the light it will disappear. So let us envision our group. And envision all the group members with whom we work on a soul level. Wherever they are in the initiatory process, first degree and higher. And envision subjectively those who join us from the other side of the veil and those guiding us, the senior disciples and initiates. And let us envision from the mental plane the soul vehicle, unified as one soul vehicle. The egoic lotus as light and radiance. And we extend from our own vehicle into this great band of light and project along the lines of light up to the Buddhic plane. And use the mantra, the words of power of the second ray of love wisdom. I see the greatest light. Imagine this great band of light, blue-white light, extending through this unified approach. That we draw down this light from the Christ flowing into and through as it circulates, extending up, and then bringing that light down into the center of every group effort to serve humanity, and activated through the 7 emanations of divine purpose into and through the minds, the heart in the head, and into and through all servers. Along all the ray lines. That we may create a new unity and bring forth the will to good, the will to love in every expression, fully and completely. Goodwill from that midway point, radiating out on the horizontal plane of service. This antakarana is a reflection, a conscious, focused attitude carried forward in all life circumstances. Through it, we automatically register the events conditioning the life of humanity. This antakarana creates a stream of ascending energy, which is tinctured by the life quality and the ray characteristics of the group personnel. Along this stream, both the ascending and the descending life quality and ray characteristics can pass at will, and we increasingly register the things of the Spirit. We consequently acquire the faculty to penetrate into the world of the hierarchy that meets on the plains in Tibet at the Wesak festival. And through this process, we reach eventually the door to the way of the higher evolution. We can function efficiently in the three worlds as the serving disciple, as the serving groups. So let us focus in Taurus on extending, expanding the antakarana and utilizing this great stream of ascending and descending energy to serve humanity. Aligning with the new group of world servers, the spiritual agents bridging between hierarchy and humanity. So how do we develop vision? Vision is an illumination that reveals the underlying synthesis.
Through visualization. Visualization is the initial step in the demonstration of the occult law that energy follows thought. This is, of course, everyone interested in occult study recognizes theoretically. One of the tasks confronting disciples is to achieve factual knowledge of this. Pictorial visualization, which is a definite feature of the work in many esoteric schools, is simply an exercise to bring about the power to visualize. In the work of those disciples who are being trained for initiation, this external aspect of visualization must give place, then, to an interior process, which is the first step towards the direction of energy.
The visualizing of pictures is intended to focus the aspirant within the head at a point midway between the pituitary body and the pineal gland. In that area, he draws pictures and paints scenes and thus acquires facility to see in large and in detail that which he desires and for which he intends to work. The visualizing of what might be called directed process goes on in a more focused manner and in the area directed around the pineal gland. The pineal gland or pineal gland then becomes the center of a magnetic field which is set in motion, in the first place, by the power of visualization. At that point, energy is gathered by the disciple and then directed with intention to one or other of the centers. This focused thought produces inevitable effects within the etheric body, and thus two aspects of the creative imagination are brought into play.
So, as we practice this as individuals, remembering that we are working in a group process, structuring our group work, and practicing our group work with this directed process of visualization leading to vision. And one way in which we are doing this is by the visualization of the triangles. For example, the triangle of Shambhala, hierarchy, and humanity, where we're using this magnetic field to focalize the visualization of the impact of the Christ potency through hierarchy to humanity as the receiving center. So this is just a reminder of the importance of bringing into full sight through our practices the triangles that creating this magnetic field, then we can bring it into play in a focused way in all of our group work.
We are told that Taurus carries the fair jewel which gives light upon its forehead. Illumination. From every angle, illumination remains the theme of this sign. Taurus guards the secret of light and confers illumination upon the initiate. The secret of eventual synthesis is the final illumination through the eye of Taurus.
Let us review a visualization exercise given to one of the disciples by Master DK, remembering that he shared all the exercises with all his disciples. I would ask you for a few minutes each morning, prior to doing the group meditation, to rest quietly back in your chair or bed and, closing your eyes, link up with your soul and with me, your friend. You will thus create a triangle of light between your soul, your head center, and myself. Fix and hold this triangle firmly in your consciousness through the power of the creative imagination. You have the Buddhic plane, the higher mental plane, and the lower mental plane. Then see it next as a solid triangle of light and not just as an outline. The base of the triangle is on the mental plane where I work and where dwells and works your soul. The lower point, or apex, touches the top of your head. Then see, pouring down via the triangle, a stream of light, golden in color and not white. It is more light orange than white. See this flooding your whole body. So you have the Buddhic plane and the higher mental plane.
Now visualize this process involving all the groups with which you are affiliated and working toward bringing through the plan for humanity, extending the flooding of the whole body of the group and groups with this stream of light via this triangle, which becomes the triangle of the groups, infused with the stream of light from the triangle above all of the groups. Triangle of energies, hierarchy, the new group of world servers, and the working groups. Make it as vivid and living and radiating as you possibly can.
When you have visualized this as perfectly as possible, then rest back in that light and bathe in it as you would bathe in the waters of the sea. See it permeating every part of your physical equipment and let it do its work without your having any definite ideas as to what should be accomplished. The rest of the activity is in my hands, and you can safely leave it to me. This exercise will aid you in handling your life problem and your service until such time as you enter into that light, wherein consciousness awakens, free from the bonds of flesh. But that time is not immediate. Visualization, vision, energy follows thought. Energy follows thought, and the eye directs that energy. This has been an occult platitude ever since the days of HPB, during whose time it was decided that this was the first of the points of revelation which could safely be given to the general public. The assertion of this revealed fact was an essential piece of knowledge in the world prior to the externalization of the ashrams, or, my brother, of the hierarchy. The thought that all this energy has already been accepted by modern science, and the concept of vision, the first step towards understanding the use of the spiritual eye, is already part of the teaching of modern philosophy and of many of the metaphysical schools. Taurus stands as the eye of illumination or light, the bullseye. Exoterically, the physical sun.
The golden rays that issue from the heart of the sun pour forth and bathe my soul and the soul of all created forms. Within those forms, the life of God awakens, and the power of God streams forth as will, as dedication to the plan, as strength to give.
So, in closing the reflection every day, we affirm that the golden rays that issue from the heart of the sun pour forth and bathe our souls and the souls of all created forms, the forms that we are creating in group formation. And we affirm that within those forms, being created by all the serving groups, the life of God awakens, and the power of God streams forth then through these projects and group activities as will, as dedication to the plan, as strength to work. For we are the sons of God. The souls of all are one, and we are one with them.
Let us affirm.
Taurus, the penetrating light of the path. This Shambhala force is that which fans or intensifies the light by the removal of obstructions, pouring through the eye of illumination into those spheres of influence upon the sorrowful planet, the earth, impelling the bull upon its onward rush. So speaks the old commentary. The import of this is that the energy of will, newly released by Sanat Kumara upon our planet, emanates via the head center of the planetary logos from the Great Bear.
Let the forces of light bring illumination to humanity. Let the spirit of peace be spread abroad. May people of goodwill everywhere meet in a spirit of cooperation. May forgiveness on the part of all be the keynote at this time. Let power attend the efforts of the great ones. So let it be, and help us to do our part.
Let us close with the sounding of the final stanza of the great invocation. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of men. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of men. May Christ return to earth. From the center, where the will of God is known, let purpose guide all little wills of men, the purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center, which we call the race of men, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. Oh. Oh. Oh.
Gratitude for all your contributions and all the group work that is going on at this time. Let us hold this more meditative approach as we continue into the energies of Taurus. In the coming weeks, we'll look more carefully and closely at the rays, the triangles, and the centers, and the science of relations, the essential relation of the centers above and below the diaphragm. For those that we're working with those energies so deeply now in our lead up to participation in the Wesak festival, the Wesak ceremony. Thank you so much for all that you do to support the work of all these serving groups.